Morning folks, bit of a grey morning, Saturday morning, halfway through May. Been really hoping for a little bit of sunshine to fish this bit of water that I'm at here. I haven't fished this area for a long time. I used to come here a lot. You used to be able to get access into this spot, fairly reasonably remote spot to get to. But you used to be able to get access into the spot in the middle of summer, and that's the time of the year when I really like to fish this fishery here, because it's got a lot of fish cruising in the shallow margins. So it's all sight fishing, which is the sort of fishing that I really love doing, being able to spot the fish, try and work out how to catch them, get a cast, maybe ahead of them, a little twitch of the fly, watch the fish come in, then watch its behaviour and watch its mouth and see if it takes the fly, and then tighten up on the fish. And that, just watching all that is just the epitome of fly fishing for me. So I've come here today. I have managed to hook 2 fish, both of them that I've sighted. Sight fishing conditions today are almost abysmal really, but at least one thing in favour of it is that the water itself is reasonably calm, so it's not windy here, it's reasonably calm, so that helps. So obviously with being able to see into the water, it doesn't always help with catching fish. But just the grey sky is difficult here because you get the glare off the clouds on the water, and it's difficult to see into the water and difficult to spot the fish. And because it's not very warm, I guess as well, the fish aren't really cruising in the margins here. So yeah, it has been really difficult, but yeah, as I say, I have managed to hook a couple of fish just using that technique that I talked about, where you just walk around the margins slowly, staying back from the water. Try and spot the fish. Then when you spotted the fish, just to be able to drop a fly in ahead of the fish, and as the fish gets closer to the fly, just give it a little bit of movement just to entice the fish so it actually sees the fly, and quite often it'll accelerate in and have a look at it, and then you just watch for the mouth to go, and when you see that white flash of the mouth, that normally means they've taken the fly. Then you can tighten up and hopefully, all going well, you'll have a fish on. That's the first part here. The next part is landing. It's got a lot of weed in this lake, so quite often the fish dive straight into the weed beds, and you can quite often get busted off in the weeds. So yeah, a challenging place to come, but a great place to come if you're into sight fishing and still water fishing. There's plenty of other ways to fish this lake too, but I always like to be able to see the fish and know that I'm actually targeting something. Spotted a fish down in the canal here, right up against the edge. So just try and put a little nymph in front of him and get him to take pretty still. It's not very warm this morning, and it's pretty grey, pretty not that warm, so there's probably not that much insect activity, and the fish are not all that active, but at least I can spot them. Well, this one here is not really feeding. Got him. He sat there. I dropped the nymph right on his head basically, and it came down, and he was just sitting there, not even moving. I didn't even think he was interested in it, but I just saw the white of the mouth go, and and I just tightened and he'd taken it. Nice brownie, probably lacking a little bit of condition, which is unusual for in here, but it's good fish. Forgot to mention that what really helps with the success rate in a place like this, in the still water, where the fish, if they're cruising around in the shallows, can certainly be very wary. Don't be afraid to go light with your tippet. I've used in a spot like this, down to 4 or 5 pound tippet, and on long leaders. And if you're having difficulty getting fish to take, then drop right down in the size of your flies as well. All those sort of things, just going light and going small, that can often be the difference between success and not. Bugger. Quite a good fish too, right on the edge. Damn it. We're getting right into to winter now, even though the temperatures haven't really cooled off this year. It's been a really strange sort of autumn. Barely had a frost around here. We have had one snow event, which has seen snow on some of our higher roads in the central North Island, so that was a bit of a short, sharp cold snap. But now I've said this, I'm sure that I've jinxed it, and we're going to probably be in for some cold weather. I think actually next week there's, or early next week, there's a cold front coming up the country. So I guess with a bit of a temperature drop and a bit of rain in the time of year, we're going to see fish running up the rivers to start spawning and think about spawning. So I guess probably over the next couple of months I'll be targeting that sort of action, especially around the Taupo and the central North Island little streams that flow into the fisheries around there. So they'll start filling up with fish. So not so wild today, but something quite different, and I hope to actually come up here again and strike it when we're going to get a nice calm sunny day to really get some good footage of some fish cruising in the shallows here. So I'm going to try and do that, and so stay tuned for that. That's hopefully we can get some good footage doing that, just being able to see the fish and get the fly in and just watching the take and that sort of thing. So that's what I'm really hoping for, but that takes some good weather coinciding with some time off work, which is a bit of a challenge at this time of year. Morning folks, I just come back to the spot I was at actually last weekend when the weather was absolute crap. The weather has been not so bad today. It's nice and sunny, but had a bit of a howling southerly, southeasterly this morning, so it's been absolutely freezing cold, numb fingers. Although conditions actually for spotting fish are actually quite good now, there seems to be absolutely no fish around the edges at all in this spot, which is what I like about the spot here, because you can get in close and spot the fish cruising around, and get a little nymph or something in front of them and just watch their reaction, and normally you can get fish to take that way, so it's really exciting fishing. So yeah, but I've only seen 3 fish I think today, and I had a go at 2 of them and caught one of them. The fish that I caught this morning was absolutely just sitting almost doggo, absolutely still, not doing anything, and I just dropped a nymph almost right on his nose, just a little bit in front of him. Just gave it a little twitch and he turned, looked up. I couldn't see whether he'd taken the fly or not, but it just felt like he had taken it, so I just lifted the rod, and yeah, the fish was on, so that was awesome. Just spotted a fish right down on the edge here. Just hold it up. Crap in the water though, so that's going to probably foul up my fly. Yep, got him. That was cool. I just plopped it in there and I saw him turn and come up to it, and it was difficult to tell whether he'd taken it, so I just lifted and he'd taken it alright. Can't tell if it's a brown or a rainbow. I think it's a brownie. It's a nice brown. Beautiful fish. Good brown. Took the little nymph. That's cool. It's been a hard morning on here. It's been a really strong wind blowing. At least the sun's out now. Before there was quite a bit of cloud cover racing past, so there wasn't much sun on the water, so it was difficult to see into the water. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's coming right now. It's still a little bit of chop, but in the sheltered places you can see into the water. So I was hoping for some good spotting conditions like this, so I'm glad that I actually stayed on here because the weather's really cleared up amazingly. I've only spotted 1 fish, and that was across the other side. Got a cast to it, a couple of casts to it, just got the fly in about the right place, and he moved, turned around to have a look at it, and I couldn't tell whether he'd taken it, but it looked like he'd taken it, so I just tightened. Just lifted the rod, and sure enough he had taken it, so that was awesome. But just haven't seen many fish at all. I've only seen 1 fish, so it's highly unusual. This spot never used to be like this. I don't know whether it's changed, but pretty low numbers of fish it seems. Maybe it's just the time of year, I don't know. So just thought I'd difficult to see into this part of the lake here, but I thought I'd just cast a nymph out, a little nymph, and just strip that in slowly and just see if there's fish out further that I can't see. Bit of a headwind is making the casting here. A couple of other guys out fishing over the other side. Boy, it was absolutely freezing this morning. My fingers were numb. Wind chill factor must have been pretty high too. It was really cold, but I'm just glad to see some sun. Apparently the sun has a lot of amazing healing powers. It certainly makes you feel better when you've got a bit of sun on your back anyway. Just going to soak it up, make the most of it. We haven't seen much sun lately. The last 2 weekends have been absolutely miserable. It's just rained the whole time. It's great to see. Day. Normally I come to this place in the summer, but you can't get into it now in the summer, so fishing it at this time of the year. I've never really fished it at this time of the year, so I'm not sure whether the fish are just not very active or they're not on the edges and they're out in the deeper water, but I've only spotted 3 fish, which is highly unusual for here. There's normally a lot more fish here, so I hope that's just the time of the year and not perhaps a declining fishery. I'll check it out with Fish and Game. Been a cool day. I'm going to call it quits and head back home. Got to mow the lawns and do some stuff like that. Better get onto it. Catch you next week for another adventure somewhere if I can get out. The weather has been absolutely shocking lately. It's just been raining almost full stop. We've had snow coming in and more snow coming in later today and tomorrow, so it's going to be pretty cold again. But I guess that's the time of year. But really nice to be out today in the sun, soaking up the sun. Haven't seen the sun for a while. It's just really so nice to be out in it. So, all right, catch you later. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment below, like and subscribe, and I'll catch up with you in the next episode. Cheers. Catch you later.